Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you're doing well. Are you in the mood for an easy project? If you answered yes, you're in the right place, because today we're going to be making a very pretty bracelet and we're going to use the beads that came in a Curated Bead Box for the month of August. Now if you're not familiar with that box, I'll leave some information down below in the description section of this video, along with a link to the website and a coupon code in case you're interested. As you can see, this bracelet features a beautiful cloisonné focal bead, some agate beads and some sparkling faceted crystals, and a very chic leather cord closure. This design combines elegance with a bit of bohemian flair, making it the perfect accessory for any occasion. So grab your beads and your tools and let's get started. And here we have the Curated Bead Box for the month of August 2024. The name of this box is Regal Royal. And I did do an unboxing video. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it down below. But anyway, as always, this box was filled with lots and lots of beads. Beads of all different sizes. The color palette was mostly purple and some white as well. And it included a very large pendant and some other metal components. But when I saw the cloisonné beads, I knew I had to use them. And we're going to be using one of them today. So let me go over the materials we're going to be using today. Here are the beads we're going to be using for today's bracelet. Now these four came in the August box, but these bicones came in the April box. And that's April of this year. I believe the name of that box is Sunshine Lollipops. I wanted to use them because they pick up some of the colors in that bead. And the enamel on that bead is a little bit on the pink side, which is why I chose these two rondelles. But anyway, this cloisonné bead measures about 11 millimeters across. And if you haven't heard of that name, cloisonné, it's actually a French word and it means partitioned or something that's compartmentalized. And basically cloisonné beads are made by soldering metal wires into shapes to create little compartments or partitions. And then those little partitions are filled with enamel. At least that's my understanding. Now I don't know if this was handmade or if it's machine made, I don't know. But it doesn't really matter because I think it's really pretty. These rondelles measure 8.5 millimeters across, and I believe they're 6 millimeters thick. And like I said, the glass is a pale pink color, which picks up the pink enamel on that bead. And I think these are agate beads. It wasn't listed on the box, but that's what they look like. And they're kind of an off-white color, and they measure 6 millimeters across. And these bicones are in a bronze color, and I think they measure 5.5 millimeters. And these spacer beads measure about 6.5 millimeters across, but what I like about these is that they have large holes. So it's going to be super easy to slide them onto leather cord. And here I have some leather cord and some metal components. These are crimp bead covers, and this is a silicone stopper bead. The leather cord is 1 millimeter thick, and it's round leather cord, and the color is metallic silver. And these crimp beads measure 5 millimeters once they're closed up. They have a little bit of a sparkly surface, which I really like. Now this stopper bead measures 6 millimeters across, and the hole is actually only 1 millimeter, which is going to make it a little bit challenging to insert two pieces of leather cord into, but I'll do the best I can. I didn't want to get a stopper bead with a larger hole because I don't feel it's secure enough. And the silicone inside that bead does stretch with time, so it's always best to have something that's a little bit on the snug side to start with. So now that we've gone over the materials, let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, I've got my beads lined up. I have my piece of leather cord, and I cut myself a generous length because I want to make sure I have enough to work with. I probably cut myself too much. But if your wrist size is 7 inches, I recommend that you cut yourself at least 15 inches or 16 inches because you want to make sure you have enough to make the knots. Plus you need a little extra for some tails as well. Since this bracelet's going to have a stopper bead, you're going to need the tails to pull on so you can adjust them to your wrist, if that makes any sense. I'll show you later on what I mean by that. Let me go ahead and attach a clip to this end so I don't lose my beads. And I've already played around with this design, so I kind of know what I'm doing. But I'm going to start with one of these spacer beads, and then a bicone, and another spacer bead, like that. And I'm going to add 2 more bicones with spacer beads in between. So here are my 3 bicones, and I think it looks really nice. Now the beads that I'm adding today are based on my wrist size, which is about 6 inches. My wrist size is actually 6 1/4 inches, but if you have a larger wrist size, you can add more bicones. So instead of 3, you might want to add 4 or 5. And now I'm going to switch to the agate beads. And I'm going to place spacer beads in between these as well. Like that. Let me add 2 more just like that. So that's what I have so far. And again, you can play around with the number of beads. For example, you could have 4 bicones and 4 agates if you wanted something longer. And now I'm going to add 1 more bicone at this end. And a spacer bead. And one of these rondelles. And another spacer bead. Doesn't that look adorable? It really does. I like the metal band on that bead. It picks up the metal from the spacer beads. And now I'm going to add my focal bead, which is this cloisonné bead. And a spacer bead. And I'm going to repeat the same bead pattern on this side, but in reverse. So here's my rondelle. And here's my bicone. Another spacer bead. And now my 3 agates. And now I'm going to add these 3 bicones. And I'm finishing with a spacer bead. So that's what we have so far. And like I said, mine measures exactly 6 inches. Now ultimately it really doesn't matter because we're going to have that silicone stopper bead with little tails that you can pull on. So even if you have 6 inches worth of beads, it's okay if your bracelet shows a little bit of leather instead of just beads. After all, it is a leather cord bracelet. So now I'm going to create a knot at each end to keep the beads in place. Let me slide them down. Remove my clip. I'm going to place my clip down here. And I'll create my first knot on this end. So I'm going to make a loop like this. Feed the tail through the loop. And I'm going to use some tweezers today. I'm going to grab that cord like this. So I'm going through the loop. And I'm grabbing the cord right where the beads are. And now I'm going to pull the tail. Slide the knot down. Make sure it's nice and tight. And there's my first knot. Very simple. Let me do the same thing at this end. I'm going to make a loop. Feed the tail through the loop. Go through the loop with my tweezers. Grab the cord right where the spacer bead is, like this. Make sure it's nice and snug. And now I'm going to pull. Let me go ahead and slide it down. You don't have to use tweezers, guys. You can just do this. You can use your nails to slide that knot down. Just like that. It doesn't get any easier than that. So now I'm going to slide on the silicone stopper bead. And to make things easy, I'm going to snip off the end to make it a little bit pointy. So I'm going to go through the bead now. This first one's easy, obviously. This next one's going to be a little bit more challenging. So I'm going to make this one extra pointy, I think. Like this. I'm going to wrap the cord around my finger as tight as I can to widen that hole a little bit. And I'm going to go in this way. Just like that. So now I need to figure out how long I want the tails. You want to make sure you can insert your wrist through that, and I certainly can. So that's something you need to test before you cut anything. So I know I need at least this much space, but I also want some tails. And it's personal preference, guys. Some people don't like very long tails, and some people do. So it's going to be up to you. Let me go ahead and center this bead. So that's dead center, as you can see. And I think I'm going to create my tails about here somewhere, which is about 1 inch from where that stopper bead is. So once again, I'm going through the loop like this, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten this knot so that it's about 1 inch from where the stopper bead is, or thereabouts. Let me go ahead and lengthen this a little bit. You want to make sure both sides are the same. I think that's about right. Let me check the length. It's actually about 3/4 of an inch, which is fine. So I want 3/4 of an inch on this side. So somewhere here. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. It really doesn't. This is a very casual bracelet. Let me just double check. That looks pretty good. Now to decorate these knots, I'm going to attach some crimp covers. Here are 2 of them. But before I attach them, I'm going to test the bracelet to make sure it's okay. And it is. As you can see, it fits just fine. And those tails are actually okay. I like the length of them. So now I'm going to attach these crimp covers. And I want to show you guys something. I went into my tools and I found these pliers that I bought ages ago. I want to say I bought them maybe 5 years ago. But these are actually crimp bead cover closing pliers, if you can believe that. They're by Bead Buddy. And I think they actually came out with a newer version. Like I said, these are pretty old. But anyway, I'm going to try to use these today. Now, since this knot's going to be inside a crimp cover, you don't need to add glue or anything. Let me see if I can insert the crimp cover over it. But I think it's in there just fine, as you can see. So now let me see if I can close this crimp cover. I want to make sure the knot's out of the way. And now I'm going to go ahead and close it. Let me go around the whole bead to get a nice round shape. But anyway, there it is. And it's not going to come off either because the knot's keeping it from sliding off. So let me snip off this end. I think it looks really cute and it gives it a very finished look. So now let me do this side. So this side's done, as you can see. And here's my bracelet. I think it's super, super cute. It really is. I hope you like it as well. Let me put it on one more time for you. It's very easy to put on because of the stopper bead. But there it is, guys. Isn't it pretty? I really like it. I hope you like it as well. And I hope you can make your own. If you have a little bit of time, I'd love to hear your feedback. If you could leave some comments down in the comment section, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Have a great day and I'll see you next time. Bye.